Hello everyone, Mr. Lipchick here, and our discussion for this segment of instruction will involve the history of political parties. Political party systems. Political party is defined as a group of people with broad common interests who organize to win elections, control government, and thereby influence government policies. Although we have a two-party system, there are numerous other small parties, as you can see on the right, such as the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, but very rarely are they able to get somebody into a major office. One-party political system is a system in which the party is, in effect, the government. The communist countries of Cuba, China, and North Korea only allow the Communist Party. To the right, you see a picture of Kim Jong-un, who is the leader of the Communist Party in North Korea, which is their only legal political party. Some nations are theocracies, or governments dominated by a religion. In Iran, for example, the only legal party is the Islamic Republican Party, which is controlled by Islamic clergy. In some countries, there is a multi-party system. Okay, and this is a system in which the nation allows more than one political party. Worldwide, this is the most common party system. England, for instance, has multiple political parties, each having different ideologies. In multi-party systems, one party rarely has enough support to control the government. Therefore, they form coalition governments with other parties and share power. Coalition governments often break down because of ideological differences, creating the need for new elections. So basically, unlike the political gridlock that you might see in this country, in a country with a parliamentary system, if they can't reach agreement, they dissolve the government and hold new elections. The United States has a two-party system. Two major parties, the Democrats and Republicans, compete for power in local, state, and national elections, the donkey being the symbol for the Democrats and the elephant, the Republicans. Minor third parties exist, but are largely ineffective in elections. When they are effective, it is usually only because they draw votes away from one of the two parties. A brief history of U.S. political parties. The U.S. party system began to form in revolutionary times. Federalists wanted a strong central government. Democratic Republicans wanted the states to have more power. If you look to the right, there's a picture of Thomas Jefferson, who was an early founder of the Democratic Republican Party, who eventually evolved into the Democrats, by the way. During the early 19th century, the system continued to evolve. After the presidency of John Adams, a Federalist, the Federalist Party declined. Thomas Jefferson won the presidency as a Democratic Republican. By 1828, the Democratic Republicans broke apart over many issues, including slavery. And President Andrew Jackson, a Democratic Republican, allied himself with a new party, the Democrats. The other group that formed out of the breakup of the Democratic Republicans were the National Republicans, or the Whig Party, as they came to be known. By the 1850s, the debate over slavery caused many Whigs to join the new Republican Party, which opposed slavery, and the Whigs fell apart. Slavery also caused the Democratic Party to split into northern and southern factions. By the end of the Civil War, the Democratic and Republican parties dominated U.S. politics. The Republicans were the majority party from the end of the Civil War into the 1900s. Northern Republicans were involved in Reconstruction and encouraged the participation of African Americans in the political system. Only 4 Democrats were elected president between 1860 and 1932. The Great Depression and the election of 1932 caused a political shift towards the Democrats. FDR, a Democrat, was elected president. The Democrats controlled Congress for most of the next 60 years. Beginning in 1968, the Republicans won 6 out of 9 presidential elections. After Bill Clinton was elected president in 1992, Republicans took control of both houses of Congress in 1994 for the first time in 42 years. Minor political parties. A third party is any party other than the 2 major parties. Single-issue parties focus on one major social, economic, or moral issue. These parties cease to be important when the issue is resolved or a major party adopts it. Ideological parties are parties that focus on an overall change in society rather than an issue. The Communist Party and the Socialist Labor Party are examples of ideological parties. These parties are usually extreme in their beliefs and have little appeal for most Americans. Splinter parties are parties that split away from one of the major parties because of a disagreement. They form when a popular candidate for the party nomination does not get it. Usually, they dissolve when the candidate is defeated. In 1968, George Wallace split from the Democrats and formed the American Independent Party. The party dissolved when Wallace became paralyzed after an assassination attempt. While third-party candidates have not won a national election, they have influenced their outcomes. In 1912, Theodore Roosevelt ran for president under the Bull Moose Party and drew votes away from the Republican candidate William Howard Taft. This resulted in the victory of Democratic candidate Woodrow Wilson. It is thought that the independent presidential candidate Ross Perot drew away Republican votes and helped Democrat Bill Clinton to win in 1992. There are many obstacles preventing minor parties or third parties from winning elections. Democratic and Republican candidates are often automatically on the ballot, while third-party candidates have to get thousands of signatures to get on it. That means going door to door. The U.S. uses single-member districts, meaning only one candidate is elected for a particular area. Some other nations have proportional representation in their districts, electing several officials in proportion to their votes their party receives. Financing is also a major problem, as third parties do not have the political connections of Democratic or Republican parties. Third parties usually have only regional or issue-related appeal to a small group of supporters. And wealthy donors will not back candidates of minor parties who have little chance of winning. That concludes our discussion of the history of political parties. Thank you for viewing, and I look forward to seeing you in the live lesson. Have a great day.